Hello students. So we have discussed the particle in one dimensional box. So now in this lecture we can go through quickly that if suppose a question comes for particle in three-dimensional box, then what is the things we have to do and some of the numerical I will take here in this particular lecture. So very similar to the derivation what we have done in particle in one dimensional box. So we can do the same things for three-dimensional box. Now this is the box. So in 1D box, we have taken only x-axis. Now we have taken y and z. In the x-axis, there was the boundary, if you remember, at x equal to 0 and x equal to a. There is again a boundary at x equal to 0 and x equal to a. But now since there is the two more dimension, so we'll have the boundary y on the y. And that is at g 0, y equal to 0 and y equal to b. Similarly towards z, z equal to 0 and z equal to c. So our particle is now restricted to three-dimensional box, the box which contains 0 to a in the x, 0 to b in the y, 0 to z in the c. That is 0 to c in the z. And that is what the thing. So my v potential, since particle is free, so particle is free not only in x, but here in the y and the z both directions. All three directions, not both, all three directions. And that is why this is the now the problem we are dealing in the particle in three-dimensional box. So what you can do that except here outside this box, my potential is infinite. So what I can do, I can use once again the same Schrodinger equation. The Schrodinger time independent, my potential is again independent from the time, but definitely the Schrodinger equation will be a three-dimensional equation because it should contain x, y, and z. So we'll use three-dimensional time independent Schrodinger equation. So this contains x square, del square by del square by del z square, and this equation. This was we have taken a constant in the previous derivation. Now my psi will contain three terms. Obviously the psi will depend on x, will depend on y, and will depend on z. So what we can do, we can use the method which is called separation of variable. Probably you have done in some of the portion the mathematics. So we can take that psi is now divided in three wave function. One wave function which is totally depend on x, xx. Second one yy. Third one zz. And in simply, you can write this capital XYZ. It means my X contain the X dimension, Y contain the Y, and Z contain Z. So if you put this XYZ over here, so this del square by del X square will be only for X. YZ will be constant. So YZ will be constant, I taken out, and there del square by del X square. Similarly, you can do for here. So Z and X will be independent, Y will be there, and so on. So in this way, if you divide this equation by x, y, z, I will get this particular one which is this term is only dependent on x, this term only dependent on y, only z. And that is why you can write it this x, y, and z dependent independent term, and this is minus 2m e upon h cross square e, the same constant. So what I can do that I can put this equation as this is the equation, and this x is multiplied with alpha square. Let this is alpha square. So my the similar equation. This is one equation with alpha 1. This is second equation with alpha 2. This is third equation with alpha 3. So in place of k, we will have alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3, which is alpha 1 square plus alpha 2 square, alpha 3 square equal to 2me upon h cross square. In 1D, this whole term was equal to k square. In some books, it is in kx, ky, kz. No issue. But yes, this was the constant there. So to calculate E, actually from here, we have to determine this alpha 1, alpha 2, and alpha 3. Now, if you remember, there was the in the wave function term, there the psi was this having this particular equation, but now this x, y, and z, the three wave function depends on x, depends on y, depends on z. They will have this kind of once again this kind of equation. You remember the b was always taken this one the equal to 0. So I have if I will consider it. So what will happen is in the similar way you can do it and you will get this alpha 1. You remember k was n pi by a. Now this alpha 1 will be nx. It's not n, it's nx. So nx pi by a. My alpha 2 will be ny pi by b. My alpha 3 will be nz pi by c. And hence you can write in this way that my wave function in the x direction will be equal to sine nx pi by a. My y will be ny pi by b, and my z will be nz pi by c with these all constant. So these are the all constant. So now there is not one sign. There are three signs. One sign on x dependent, second one is y, third one is the z dependent. Now this all constant is k. So I can determine the value of k once again by taking these constant b1, b2 and b3. So what we can do here, that from here we can write that this is again, if you remember that we have taken the normalization equation, normalization condition. So this is normalization condition now for dx, for dy and dz, and you can say we have this psi, which is psi sine square nx, sine square ny, sine square nz. So you can solve this equation one by one, integrating with respect to 0 to a, integrating with respect to 0 to b, and integrating with respect to 0 to c. You remember we will get it a by 2. Now this time for the x-axis you will get a by 2, then b by 2, then c by 2. So ultimately this k square will be abc by 2 to 2 equal to 1, and hence my k will be 2 root 2 by under root abc. I should tell you that this k was root of 2 by a. If I have that particular equation with me, so I can tell you that we have derived this equation of k earlier, and that k comes out to be root 2 by a. So there is the root 2 by a. So in this way, I can do this, get the root 2 by ABC. Now I have this the value of k, root 2 by root 2 by ABC. So my wave function for all three dimension becomes root 2 by ABC. So in that particular derivation, it was root 2 by a, the a which we have derived, the constant a. So it was there root 2 by a. I was showing earlier, but this is root 2 by a. So now this is not root 2 by a, this is root 2 by a, root 2 by b, root 2 by c, and hence we will have 2 root 2 divided by root of ABC. So this is the formula of wave function. Now to calculate the energy eigenvalue, which we require 2me upon h cross square and this one. So this alpha 1 we can put again nx square pi square by a. In that particular derivation in the one dimension, I hope you remember that we have done this. We have done this in this way, that my k will have this n pi by a. So this k was there and this n pi by a value was there. Now to calculate e, we require this the whole three dimension also. So this nx pi by a, ny pi by b, and z pi by c, this is equal to 2me upon h cross square. So hence what we can do, that to calculate e, we can just rearrange the term, and this e formula becomes pi square h cross square by 2m, including nx square by a square. That term was there only. If you remember here, e was this one, n square pi square h cross square by 2m a square. But now this is 2m is okay, pi square h cross square is okay, but these are terms which are dimension dependent, x dependent, y dependent, and z dependent. If suppose we take cube, so this ABC will be equal. So we can take this cube, so ABC, so I can take this a square outside. So we have the energy which is dependent on only nx, ny, and nz. So this is the formula of energy, and we can say, if suppose you can write this as E1 once again, if E equal to E1 nx square plus ny square, then my energy will be only E1. This is E1, then dependent nx square plus ny square plus nz square. So these are the few quantum mechanical integer. So since there the energy was dependent only on n, now this energy depends on nx, ny, and nz. So there is one another quantity which is very important and which comes out to be degeneracy of energy level. So suppose I take this value 111. So if I take this value 111, so my energy will be 3 times of E1. So that is okay. But so this kind of wave function, once I have nx, ny, and z equal to 1, but my energy is equal to 3 E1, there is only one set of quantum numbers that give this energy state, and this level is called non-degenerate because there is no change. But for example, if you take this one 112, I can take 112, 112, I can take 121, or I can take 211. For all three sets, you put their value of three set, your energy will be only and only always 6h cross a times a square, or you can say this is 3 of E1. So what the meaning? The meaning is that for this one energy, I have three sets. For this one energy, I have was only one set. So that state was non-degenerate. But for these three sets, nx, ny, and nz, I have one energy eigenvalue. So these kind of levels are said to be is said to be degenerate. So these all levels are degenerate. So this kind of phenomena where for the three or the more than one sets will give you same energy, these wave functions or these levels are actually named as degenerate level. So I have this particular diagram for you, this one. So you can say this 111 will give you only one. This is the one energy, P equal to 3, but it will give me 3 sets. So the degeneracy is of 3 level. Similarly, 221 will give you the 3 sets, the same energy. So P equal to 3 will have these 3 sets. If you take 321, so there are 6 combination by which you will get the 3 same energy. So this is what 6-fold degenerate. So this is what the degeneracy. We should remember it. Sometimes the question may be asked independently or degeneracy, and one of the important question that is what there. So suppose this nx plus ny and nz equal to 4 is given. So they are asking what is the order of degeneracy. In this way, so for this case, we can get 4 by this combination 211, 121, or 112. So it's very simple. For all these three combination, you will get nx, ny, and nz. So you can calculate E, N, and psi from putting these value, but there will be three wave functions for these value, and hence the degeneracy is 3. By which now from this particular equation or the numerical you can solve such kind of.